Hey everyone, Pat Fitzmaurice of FantasyPros here to give you my 7 must-have players for 2024 fantasy football drafts. Obviously, I like more than just 7 players, but these are some of my very favorite draft targets at a few different price points. It's always nice when you can get a player with a huge upside at an affordable price, and that's the case with the first player on my must-have list, Jayden Daniels. Daniels has an ADP of QB 13, just outside of QB 1 range, so you might be able to wait until everyone else in your league has drafted a starting quarterback and then scoop up Daniels, who's basically a discount version of Anthony Richardson, but Richardson has an ADP of QB 5. He's a lot more expensive. Daniels offers the same sort of rushing potential that Richardson has, and Daniels is considered the more accomplished passer coming out of college than Richardson was. Daniels averaged 317 passing yards and 3.3 touchdown passes a game for LSU last year, and he is an electrifying runner. Maybe not quite the rushing threat that Lamar Jackson is, but not too far off. In his final 2 seasons at LSU, Jayden Daniels had 2,019 rushing yards, and don't forget that sack yardage is deducted from college quarterbacks' rushing yardage. Daniels also had 21 touchdown runs over his last 2 seasons in college. Not only does Daniels offer dual threat production as a runner and passer, but the Washington offense is going to play fast under new offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury, who likes to push the pace. It's worth remembering that Kyler Murray finished QB 8 in fantasy scoring as a rookie, with Kingsbury running the offense in Arizona. Oh, and one more thing, the Washington defense probably isn't going to be very good, so the Commanders are likely to be in some shootouts. That bodes really well for Daniels' rookie year numbers. Number 2 on my list of must-have players, Devon Achane, running back for the Miami Dolphins. Achane typically comes off the board somewhere around the round 2, round 3 turn. Some people think that's too high a price to pay for a running back who doesn't project to be a workhorse. And yet, a lot of those same people have no problem drafting Jahmyr Gibbs somewhere around the round 1, round 2 turn. Even though Gibbs only averaged 11.8 carries per game last season, from the time backfield mate David Montgomery returned from a rib injury at midseason through the playoffs. That's probably a good estimation of Achane's workload, about 11 or 12 carries a game, 2 to 4 catches a game. But look, Achane can do a lot of damage on 13 to 16 touches a game. He averaged a ridiculous 7.8 yards per carry last season on 103 rushing attempts. Of course, we don't expect a repeat of that sort of efficiency, but Achane wasn't just a football star at Texas A&M. He was a track star too. He has freaky 4.32 speed, and his secret sauce is his exceptional contact balance for a smaller back. He's just really hard to knock off his feet and lightning fast. He's going to hit on a lot of big plays. Achane is also a good pass catcher, and Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel is a good play caller who's going to maximize Achane's ability. Next up, another Washington Commander. It's running back Brian Robinson. Robinson looks like a potential steal at an ADP of RB34. Yes, the Commanders signed Austin Eckler in free agency, but Eckler is coming off a poor season, and some of his off-season comments suggest he's looking for less work than he had with the Chargers. The appeal with Robinson is that if he earns a majority of Washington's early down snaps, he's likely to benefit from playing with the ultra-mobile rookie QB Jayden Daniels and from the rapid offensive pace favored by Cliff Kingsbury. Some of you might remember when Robert Griffin III was a rookie sensation for Washington in 2012. Griffin was a very dangerous runner, and the threat he posed as a runner really opened things up for Washington's lead running back at the time, Alfred Morris. Morris had 1,600 rushing yards and 13 TD runs that year, the best season of his career by far. It's possible Jayden Daniels has a similar effect on Brian Robinson's rushing efficiency. The 6'1", 228-pound Robinson could inherit a touchdown windfall if the Washington offense perks up with Daniels at the controls. When Kingsbury was head coach and play caller for Arizona in Kyler Murray's rookie year, Kenyon Drake had 8 touchdowns in 8 games with the Cardinals after coming over in a midseason trade with the Dolphins. Drake also averaged 80.4 rushing yards per game with Arizona and 5.2 yards per carry. Richardson's potential for 2024 is intriguing, and the buy-in is very affordable. Number 4 on my must-have list, Malik Nabers, rookie wide receiver for the New York Giants. Rookie wide receivers with early first-round NFL draft capital tend to be very good fantasy investments, as we've seen in recent years with players such as Jamar Chase, who had a rookie ADP of wide receiver 26, CeeDee Lamb, who had a rookie ADP of wide receiver 38, and Jalen Waddle, who had a rookie ADP of wide receiver 46. Nabers' ADP is currently wide receiver 24. He's a player with 4.4 speed. He's an exceptional route runner, and he is absolutely lethal after the catch. In his final season at LSU, Malik Nabers had 89 catches for 1,569 yards and 14 touchdowns in just 13 games. Nabers is perceived to have landed in a suboptimal situation with the Giants, but the number 6 overall pick of the draft will immediately become the top target earner in a Giants offense that doesn't have any other proven pass catchers. With that sort of target potential and Nabers' prodigious talents, a 90-catch, 1,200-yard rookie season is squarely in play for the rookie from LSU. Next up, Carolina Panthers wide receiver Diontae Johnson. Diontae's ADP is wide receiver 38. He is a screaming value at that price. This is a guy who's averaged 9 targets per game over the last 4 seasons. Diontae will now be the undisputed number 1 receiver for a Panthers offense that should take a step forward under new head coach Dave Canales, who worked wonders with Baker Mayfield in Tampa last year and could have the same effect on second-year quarterback Bryce Young. Late last season, the week of Thanksgiving, Adam Thielen stood at wide receiver 10 in PPR fantasy scoring, averaging 9.7 targets and 7.6 catches per game, and that was with Bryce Young struggling. That is the sort of target and catch upside Diontae Johnson has for Carolina this year, now that he is the Panthers' clear number 1 receiver. The difference is that Johnson will not average under 10 yards per catch like Thielen did last year. Number 6 on my list of must-have players, Christian Watson, wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. Watson's first 2 seasons have been a bit of a mixed bag. As a rookie, he scored 8 touchdowns in a 4-game span. He also scored 4 touchdowns in a 3-game span last year, but Watson has also dealt with nagging hamstring issues that have caused him to miss 14 games in his first 2 seasons. Watson saw a specialist about the hamstring issues in the offseason. It was discovered that he has a muscle imbalance in his 2 legs, something that Watson has addressed with his training routine, so hopefully Watson will be healthier this year. Now, some people are understandably concerned that the Packers have a bevy of good young pass catchers vying for targets, but in games where Watson, Jayden Reed, and Romeo Doubs were all healthy last season, Watson had a 27% target share, Reed a 22% target share, and Doubs an 18% target share. And we are talking about high-value targets with Watson. His average depth of target was 13.8 yards in 2022, 15.6 yards in 2023. Watson is 6'4", has sub 4.4 speed, and has shown a knack for scoring touchdowns. Christian Watson has an ADP of wide receiver 40. Go get him. And my final must-have player, Raiders rookie tight end Brock Bowers. I'm surprised there isn't more enthusiasm for Bowers, considering that he is one of the best tight end prospects to ever come out of the college ranks, and we're coming off a season in which a rookie tight end, Sam Laporta, led the position in fantasy scoring. I think Brock Bowers might have been NFL ready when he was an 18-year-old college freshman at Georgia. He had 882 receiving yards and 13 touchdown catches for a Georgia team that won the national championship that season. He was first-team All-SEC as a freshman, SEC Freshman of the Year, and it only got better from there. Bowers won the John Mackey Award as the best tight end in the country as both a sophomore and again as a junior, and then he came out and turned pro. Bowers is fast, has excellent hands, he's really good at getting himself open, whether it's against man or zone, and he's an absolute beast after the catch. A lot of people were unhappy with Bowers' landing spot with the Raiders. I don't think the landing spot is all that bad. I can't make the case that the Raiders have a great QB situation with either Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, but Michael Pittman had over 100 catches last year with Minshew as his primary quarterback. Devontae Adams had more than 100 catches last year with Aiden O'Connell as his primary quarterback, and the target competition for Bowers isn't that fierce. Devontae Adams is going to get a bunch of targets, no question, but Sam Laporta finished as the tight end 1 last year, even though Amon-Ra St. Brown had 119 catches for the Lions. And who else is there besides Adams? Jacoby Myers isn't going to block Bowers' path to stardom. Michael Mayer certainly isn't going to block Bowers' path to stardom. Brock Bowers is another player with big upside at an affordable price. Those are my 7 must-have players. Good luck with your draft prep. And by the way, don't forget to get your reps in with our Fantasy Pros Mock Draft Simulator. You can quickly perform realistic mock drafts tailored to your league settings in just minutes. Utilize advanced tools like the Pick Predictor to anticipate player availability and draft intel to analyze your league's draft tendencies, and get comprehensive analysis on every mock with the Draft Analyzer to refine your strategy. And by the way, if you want a chance to win a signed Puka Nacua helmet for free, courtesy of our friends at pristineauction.com, all you need to do is head to fantasypros.com/contest. Again, that's fantasypros.com/contest. Complete the form and either download the Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard app, leave a review for the podcast, or follow us on X, Instagram, or TikTok at Fantasy Pros. The more actions you complete, the more entries you receive. We'll be announcing a winner on the Fantasy Pros Football Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize.